kind of had a mask on. I felt like Clark Kent with glasses. It was hard. I was finding myself saying I need to do something else, right? I can speak to the culture in a different way.
A lot of people tune out mainstream media, and a lot of folks tend to doom scroll on social media. We have a certain level of responsibility.
It's called Lead, Teach, Inspire. Let's teach people how to lead. Let's show them leadership and what it looks like. Each one teach one. I take the next young man, teach them, give them tools to be successful, and then inspire somebody else to do the same thing.
Welcome to Discover Virginia, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the incredible people, businesses, and stories that shape the Hampton Roads and Virginia community. Each episode, we sit down with local entrepreneurs, creatives, and change makers who are redefining what it means to live, work, and also play in this region. Now, let's explore, connect, and discover Virginia.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Discover Virginia podcast. Today we are not in studio. We're continuing on our journey of traveling around Virginia Beach area. And today we're at the Flow Home here in Virginia Beach, located conveniently on the Rudy Inlet. And we're talking with some amazing people and business owners throughout this series. And I'm so excited to introduce you all to some great people that we met through our Instagram feed, who also has a local podcast here in the area called Family Business and Cultural Development. Two things that we love to talk about on our show is, of course, business and also of community here in the area, and having conversations that bring people together is what we're all about. So I'm so excited to welcome Jerome and Cassandra to the podcast. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank
you for having us.
Yes, thank you guys so much for coming. So we start the show the same way every time. We would love to know what brought you to the area originally, and what got you to stick around and build your life and your business here in the area.
All right, so I'll go first. What brought me here, and our story will flow together. So what brought us here was college, Norfolk State originally. I ran track at Norfolk State coming from New Jersey. And, after getting here and seeing the environment, I just fell in love with it. It's nice people, a lot of opportunities, especially for families. So that's what made me stick around.
Yep. Same thing. So, fun fact, I'm 6 months older than Jerome, so I graduated a year ahead.
Yeah, stick it to you.
I came here for a college opportunity. I was offered a scholarship to run track and field. We kind of sold it as a package deal, so I came here specifically with the intent of knowing that he would follow after. And then we kind of liked the area once we graduated. I got a job, got established, and there's a lot to do in the Hampton Roads.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
That is so cool. Well, we're so glad you guys are here and part of the community, and part of this really important, I think, cultural need is to have conversations openly. A lot of people tune out mainstream media, and a lot of folks tend to doom scroll on social media. So it's nice to always insert clips of hope and also great conversation in there as well.
Absolutely.
So, Jerome, I understand you recently retired from the Virginia Beach Police Department.
Yeah,
correct?
so,
as an instructor.
I was, yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like working with the city?
It was nice, man. I started at 21 years old with the police department. I was the youngest in the academy at the time. It was fun. It was definitely a culture shock for me. It was different. The environment was different. The people were different. I spoke different than everybody else coming from New Jersey. But I've met so many people. I learned so much. I had fun with it. And becoming an instructor was the best part. Learning how to public speak, learning how to teach people things. How to mentor was definitely a good opportunity.
Cassandra, for you, I understand you shared a little bit of your story beforehand, but I'd love to go over that again for the audience here. So when you came to NSU, tell me about what the plan was, and as always, life changes. What transpired after?
Yes. The plan was basically free education. I didn't have a wealthy upbringing. I didn't have a mom who was educated enough to know how to get scholarships and how to get grants and things like that to get an education when you're not able to afford. So the only thing I had in my pocket was I knew how to run. And I kind of ran with that, if that made sense. I was really good in the area. I was known for being a long distance runner, broke a couple school records, that sort of thing. And I also was.
I love that humble brag, by the way. Broke a couple
I
records.
might
Not a big
still
deal.
have the record.
She
I don't
humble,
know.
I'm not.
Yeah. I was like, I think you probably still have that record. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was also like book smart, if that made sense. So it's really hard with athletes nowadays to find someone who is a good athlete, disciplined in their sport and their craft, and with the books.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
the best of both, right?
exactly. So I kind of used that to my advantage to get a scholarship to run for Norfolk State. And my goal was always to become a nurse, and I got into the nursing program, and that was my goal, was to finish my education with basically using track and field as my job to pay for my schooling.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Thank
Well
you.
done. That's so commendable for you, and I understand during that time as well. You guys also had it as a child as well.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, we were so backstory. We've been together since 13 years old,
Yeah.
and we met through track and field,
Yes.
and we end up having a child at the height of our high school career, and it was difficult, for two young people who didn't have weren't financially sound in the first place. Their family coming from an environment where was pretty rough, and it seemed like it was impossible to make it after that point, right? After having our daughter. So we worked really hard to get out of there and to make sure that she had a future. So like when it came time for her to go to college, like she said she's a little older than me, I was like, go, you got to go, because we can't stay here. And if we do, we're not going to be able to give our daughter the life that she deserves.
Absolutely.
Right. And so she went away, and I made sure that I continued everything. I worked hard and took care of our daughter for a year by myself while she was in school, and earned the same ability to get to college as she did. So then we went there, like you said, as a package deal. Like, all right, we're both here to run track, and the goal is to take care of our daughter. Like,
absolutely.
I'm here to get this degree so that way our daughter could eventually come up here and we can live a good life, and try to get that white picket fence that you see.
Wow.
Yeah.
Something that strikes me on your story is like how you guys stuck together through it. Because I know a lot of, even young parents, middle-aged parents, older parents, like kids change relationships, and they can definitely impact the family dynamic in a way. And I think you guys speak to this, and we'll get into this more later, the family dynamic of the business, right? The culture. And when families, sometimes split when those things happen. So it's admirable and commendable for commending you both for sticking out and making it work, and being transparent with that story is it doesn't always have to be pretty, and it doesn't always have to fit the in the box. I think thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
So Jerome, I understand after this point you signed up for the Air Force.
I did.
Correct?
I did. So
yes, I would love for you to speak to that, and I also would like to ask I would love to see about maybe like one chapter marker in that season for you of what stood out to you about discipline and resilience.
Okay. So it's interesting. What happened was I didn't know nothing about the military, right? It wasn't prevalent where we're from, anything. I didn't even know the opportunities. I thought it was all movies, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And what happened was a situation came up where we needed money. And our daughter, again, was back home with like our parents, and it was either drop out of school, her or me or both, and go back home and, like deal with that situation, or I can do something about it. So I said, look, I met people in the military here and stuff. And I said, look, I think I could join the military and be able to save this situation. So talked to a couple branches, and everybody was like, the Air Force is the one, like you should try that. And so I gave it a try, I gave it a go, and went to the Air Force, saved her from having to drop out of school. I left temporarily to go to the reserves. I was able to come back to school for a little while to Norfolk State, and after boot camp and everything like that. But what I learned in the Air Force was that discipline. Like, it really gave me a sense of self, right? That was the first time really like leaving everybody, because at first she left and went away, but I was still home. And then when I left again to go to college, I still had her. But this was the first time I was away from everybody. And I had a plan, like I have to get through boot camp. I have to be the best. I got to get this done for my family. So it instilled that discipline, and it gave me courage as well, even more courage than I think I already had, because I'm a tough guy. But it gave me that courage and discipline to keep going. And it was fun. It was fun. The most fun I'll never do again. But.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
What was that season like for you, Cassandra?
It was rough because we were still children, if that made sense,
Sure.
even though we had started an adult life together, and all we knew was each other. So we had established a bond. We had each other where we can kind of bounce back off of. So if I felt low, or if I felt like it was hard, he was able to kind of encourage me forward, and vice versa. And when he was in boot camp, there is no form of communication, no text, no sort of anything back. So I had to kind of build that on my own, if that made sense, and kind of learn how to adapt on my own, and kind of find my own encouragement to keep moving forward.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I understand you guys, navigated through that very successfully and took away a lot of lessons that has really transitioned and transpired into you all starting your own podcast as well, and you are now in that full-blown entrepreneurial landscape. Jerome, I'll start with you on this. What was the turning point that pushed you from law enforcement to say, okay, entrepreneurship and media is where I need to go next?
Right. So for me, culturally, I didn't fit into the police department, right? Even though I found fun in it, I found joy in certain aspects, but just honestly, I'm not the same culture. A lot of people are different than me, and I felt that it was difficult to maneuver day by day. I kind of had a mask on. I felt like Clark Kent with glasses, and then I would have to put these glasses on and be like, "Hey, how you doing? I got to talk this way and do it." And it was hard. So I was finding myself saying, I need to do something else, right? I can speak to the culture in a different way, because I've been mentoring people for so long. Since I was young, I've always been a little older because I had to mature earlier. I had to do things, that most kids at 19 wasn't doing, or 15 wasn't doing. So a lot of young, black males, they gravitated to me, whether it was through the other the guys in the police department, or even people in the streets, people that I meet. So I became a mentor to a lot of people. And I realized, I said, I need to be focusing on this. I can help out a lot. And not just as Officer Scurry, but as Jerome Scurry, all right? And as the internet persona, Rome the Rula, right? Because now I'm giving them a character that they can lean on, that they need. Because what we lacked in the culture and in the community is that leader that people look at and be like, I want to be like that guy. I want to talk to that guy. I'll listen to that guy. So I said, let's go with this. Let's go full time and do this, because I was doing it for free anyway. And I wanted to bet on myself, because we've did it already. We've bet on ourselves hundreds of times, so I'm glad that she had the support, because she's seen it. She already seen me doing it. She's like, there's been times we're out and it's like, okay, my phone ringing again. What's that? Somebody want advice? I'm always going here, going there, talking to people, helping people. And, so once I decided that I can go full force with it, and we had the, opportunity to do it, I think it was a no-brainer, because that's my personality. That's who I am. So the business is me. I'm the brand, right? It's hard to fail at being yourself. So.
Yeah, a personal brand objective. And two, that's so important for, I think, especially as a male role in a community, to be that representation of hey, here's the steps. Let me guide you. Let me offer support and nurturing. And what an incredible way to multiply those efforts. you know, in the 90s, it was a phone call. Now you can, you know, record a podcast or do a clip, and now you can reach thousands of young people who need that message, or people your age that need that reminder, right, of that message as well. Cassandra, I want to hear about you, because I understand that Jerome started this at first just as his own brand.
Yes.
And then it quickly became you being onboarded. What was that process like for you? And can you speak to a little bit more of your insight into helping, because I'm married, so I always like to say how you help shape your husband in the way he presents himself on his personal brand.
Absolutely. So when he came up with the, he first presented, because we talk all the time, presented that he wanted to try to do some sort of mentorship program, and he did his research, and he came to me with all his research and his information and this excitement and all that stuff. I always have a little bit of reservation until I myself can do my own research and that sort of thing. But I always believe in him. I think he has the personality. He has all the qualities that people look up to, right? So we looked into a couple things. He said there's this facility that has like rooms, like we can do podcasting, you know, they have different things going on. So we checked it out, you know, and at first it was just going to be him, and then he was going to have his friend come on board and kind of go from there, sort of thing. And then we kind of did a practice run where the producer kind of interviewed both of us.
Right.
And during that interview, he kind of lit up and was like, you know, I understand you want to do your thing and you want to have your brand, and that's great also, but you realize that you guys are also a brand together. And that's very much true. Like everyone back home, like we're like mini local celebrities because of our story and kind of, you know, being athletes and all that sort of thing. They know us as Rome and Cassandra. It's never one or the other, you know? So I kind of looked at it like, yeah, you're right. You know, there is a need for the young Black male community needing leadership, but also just families. Like there's also a gap with mom, dad, or whatever, you know, whatever your family looks like. There's people who are adults who are struggling to continue in relationships, or are just now going through adversity in their relationship, and they're struggling to get through it as adults. So when people hear our story as we were children, we had, you know, the teenage pregnancy, you guys had separation, so you guys had to deal with separation with all the military families in this area. They have to learn how to adapt being apart from each other, and kind of just like being professionals as well. Like there's people who are working class citizens who struggle with, I have a full-time job, he has a full-time job, how did you guys manage to find time for each other? You know, so with that being a need as well, it kind of was just natural. It happened naturally. Yep.
That is really interesting. And I want to touch on and dive into next about the show Family Business, because I think most people have kind of observed that as well. Like, oh yeah, relationships are tough, doing that's tough. But you guys were like, okay, we've identified it. Now we want to dive into this more. So if you could speak to the show and some of the strategies maybe that you guys have on a reoccurring for your segments about what families can be doing to take care of their business first and to keep those relationships strong, even when you're going through seasons of separation or, you know, full-time work grind.
Right. So I'll start it off. The reason why we call it family business is because a long time ago, we've realized that our relationship and our family is a business, right? Like I'm the CEO, owner, she manages things, like, and in order for us to work, we have to run it like a business that we want to be successful.
Sure.
And a lot of people put these different emphasis on it and make it all about just love and passion and everything. Like, yeah, that's a part of it, but we can't love each other if we can't take care of each other, right?
Absolutely.
So we what we talk about on the podcast is how we stay together and how we work as a family business to make everything, run so smoothly. And we're not perfect. So we're not here to say we didn't argue. We just was together since we was kids and was good. Like, no, we did all the craziness and yelled and everything. We still, go back and forth over small things now, but we got it figured out to the point where it's like, we know how to make this business run smooth. And, we give, we do different segments talking about, how our story is different than most stories, right? Most people aren't going to meet as kids. So how do you look for the right mate, and what does separation look like, and how we dealt with separation? One of the things we spoke on was how when I went away for boot camp, for example, she did small things like she would send me music lyrics. She'd print out my favorite songs and she would send them as a letter. And because she know I love music. Like right now, I usually got AirPod in and I could be having a full conversation, but it's a song going on. And she knew that was the little things that would get me through, right? So those small gestures is what led to it. And she also, on the business side, we had a goal of, we need this money. We did not spend a dime for 6 months when I was in boot camp in tech school. We didn't touch it. And when I came back, we were able to say, all right, we did what we said. Let's go now and move forward, get our daughter here and move forward. So the business part and the love part came to play because we had to work together. And if I didn't succeed, she wasn't going to succeed. Exactly. Our daughter wasn't going to succeed. So that's the business aspect of it. And, even relationships, like we have funny segments on here.
Yeah.
And we talk about red flags, right? What to look for, and when you see, a girl being ratchet, right? You just tell her no. We can't do it. So it's not all just super formally structured. We're having fun on it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's the conversations me and her have sitting outside drinking wine, right?
And you want your partner to be able to have good conversations, right? Because if there's nothing to talk about, then
absolutely
might not be the chemistry there, right?
Yeah. So it's a fun podcast,
It is a very lighthearted podcast. And then we also kind of our experience too with our friends, because there's a new dating culture that we didn't get to experience because we were in a relationship, but we get to experience through our friends, if that makes sense. So like what they're seeing when they're dating, what troubles they're having, what they're saying is happening on these dates, that sort of thing. So we kind of touch base on that through the lens of other people.
Ooh,
and it kind of, opens up the door for people who may not, it's just not just a couples podcast. It can be for the everyday person who's watching and they're like, okay, well, if they're a relationship, if they like us, they're a relationship that I would want to be like, and they're not just about, get married, do this, do that, they're also talking about the dating culture.
Yeah. Yeah, we spoke about on the I think it was the last one, we talked about like the Red Pill podcast and stuff. I don't know if you ever seen like the Manosphere and stuff like that. It's a whole thing. But we spoke about that, and different YouTubers who talk about how to pick up women and how to do that, and how it's a lot of fraudulent people out there.
Oh yeah,
and
we're can't believe everything you see on the internet.
Yeah, you
right?
can't.
Yeah.
And I think what we bring is authenticity. Like there's not many people who have a long-standing relationship that's actually, coming forth and talking about it and being able to showcase it. Like you can see pictures of us as kids or videos of us as kids all the way up to now in the maturity, so I think it's very inspirational. So it comes back to like that mentorship thing, it just leads back. It's like, it's inspiring to people to be like, wow, like I've seen y'all grow up. So it's been a cool journey. I look at our old pictures and be like, I was that dude. I was always cool, but I was a little bit, less cool.
Yeah. It's so important to have that perspective too, because like we have to, I believe we have to have grace with ourselves always, just like with our family. Like we're gonna mess up, we're gonna say things we probably shouldn't have said because we didn't get enough sleep, right? Yeah. But ultimately, like recognizing and having that self-awareness of like, here's where I've been. Let's check it for what it is. Here's where we're going together. Yeah, it's so important. Another thing you said on the dating side, I've seen some local Facebook groups. Are we dating the same guy?
Oh
They get
yeah,
to
we
roast.
spoke about
Yes,
that. That's
yeah.
that is so scary, man.
That is really scary.
If
Yeah.
I was a young guy right now, or however age you want to be, and you're trying to be in a dating scene and maneuver, how scary would it be to just like end up on some app and they could say whatever they want about you
Yeah.
on Facebook, or it's another one called the T app. We spoke about that, and this
T-app,
the
okay.
T app is an app where they literally it's girls only. You can get on there and be like, "Hey, I'm going out on a date with this guy.
It's like
Anybody
Yelp
know him? Give
for
me tea on
guys.
him."
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yep.
that's so dangerous. Wow.
Very dangerous.
It's like Yelp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, so I am happy that I am out of that game because
Yeah, me too.
who
man.
you could
Oh my
just
gosh.
you could be on a date and just be like, I don't like his shoes. Now you all over an app like this dude got ugly sneakers.
Oh my gosh. That's like the I think it's a game show style, but when they first meet, they have to hit the red buzzer when it
Mhm.
lights up. And sometimes people, as soon as they sit down, they'll try to hit it before it even like why are you making this decision
Yeah.
so quickly? They haven't even spoken, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah. Well, I want to touch on next the other podcast that you have, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Cultural development, because I think this ties in nicely too. Because
It
like you
does.
said, family business. You guys make it fun. You make it light. You recognize your story, but you're also like, hey, like listen, like life's messy. Like you
Mhm.
gotta
Absolutely.
figure it out. And I think the cultural development piece kind of like takes into that next layer of like, okay, we have a certain level of responsibility socially
Mhm.
to be aware of these things, but not just passively, but also actively, either being countercultural for specific purposes or goals, and also for just recognizing like, hey, we're different and that's okay.
Mhm.
So if you could speak to that, Kassani, we'll start with you.
So from behind the scenes, because I'm not in the cultural development podcast, but a lot of it is touched on kind of everyday life. I would say other people probably experience this as well, but the black and brown community,
Yeah.
and hip hop community, the music, the politics surrounding that. And you speak more on the topics and stuff, so I'll let you elaborate a little bit more. But that's the gist of most of the topic of conversation for
Yeah.
cultural development.
So for cultural development, that's when I get to be Rome,
Mm-hmm.
right? The guy that everybody know that's active. Like I'm an activist. They know me for speaking, speaking out loud, not being afraid to voice my opinion. The mentor, right? That masculine figure that's really him. Like I'm that person. That's when I'm able to say, all right, y'all want me to talk? Y'all want me to get real? Let's talk about the problems we have in the community. Let's talk about how to fix the problems. Let's talk about how we got here in the first place. And when I say culture, yeah, I'm mainly speaking about, the African American population, but I'm also speaking to men in general and young men in general, because when I want to educate everybody on why I think this way. How did I get here, right? Some people often say, like, you'll hear things like, why can't everybody just do what you did? Well, you made it out the hood. And I'm like, well, I ran really fast, right? Everybody can't run that fast.
Yeah.
So my opportunities came different. I didn't have the educational piece if it wasn't for the piece of being able to run fast. It's a genetic factor, right? So I want to be able to give understanding to the young people, like, you don't have to run fast, but you can also do this, right? There's a military, there's this. I didn't know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was literally the opportunity of being like, dude, you could do sports, right? So educating even, all the communities of that is like, the opportunities aren't the same, right? There's a lack of education piece that comes with it. So I wanted to be the platform that give the education and the knowledge out to everybody. So when you sit down and you like, man, I just need to, I want to learn and have fun at the same time. That's me. I'm gonna be that voice, right? That powerful voice that you could be like, yeah, let's see what Rome talking about today, right? Let's see what's going on. And it could be for anybody. It could be for women. It could be for men. But, there was a lack of it out there. And again, we have people on the internet who tries to do it, but they don't have the full package, right? And it's hard to find somebody who actually went through it all and seen steps, because my life is weird. I'm from South Jersey. I was a D1 athlete, had a kid early, became a Air Force Raven, still a father, a husband, went to the police department, became an instructor, and I did all that before I was 31 years old. And so it's really hard to make up that character, right? So somebody with that much information, I would be a bad person if I held it all to myself and not gave it out.
Sure. On the culture piece too, I'd love to dive in more on without giving too much away for the show, because obviously they gotta follow. You guys gotta go follow on the show, subscribe. But when it comes to the local community here in Hampton Roads, I'm curious what your next push or initiative is on the cultural piece that you guys are working to either bring awareness to or maybe correct in some ways.
Right. So the next piece that's coming is it's called Lead, Teach, Inspire. Right. The Lead, Teach, Inspire movement is a movement where we're building leaders. Right. So you'll start with the leadership aspect. Let's teach people how to lead. Let's show them leadership and what it looks like. And then we're going to teach them and you educate them how to do the same thing, right? How can I each one teach one? I take the next young man, teach him, give him tools to be successful, and then inspire somebody else to do the same thing. So when people see me, I want to dress the part and speak the part to where they like, wow, I want to be like him. So now they see a leader. I teach them the ways that I know, and then they go do the same thing and inspire the next person. So that's the next piece. That's what we're building now. It's an actual movement to where we'll have the mentorship program to where you can join, you can come be a part of it, and whether it's classes, one-on-one mentorship, getting out into the community and doing community work, mentorship in the schools, mentorship in after-school programs and things like that, to give back to the community and start putting, making things go in full circle.
Yeah. Lead, teach, inspire.
Yes, sir. You like that? Is it catchy enough?
It's catchy.
It's good. I think it hits on a lot of things too, because especially in Hampton Roads, I mean, there's a lot of great resources out there.
Absolutely.
And kind of like what you mentioned on the social media side, it's kind of piecemealed. It's not necessarily unified. I mean, look at us. I mean, we're 2 million people in the Hampton Roads area, and we still can't figure out on what name to call each other. Right? Hampton Roads, Tidewater 757.
757, yeah.
Well, Norfolk built Virginia Beach, but Virginia Beach is separate now, and it's just like, how we navigate. And then when nobody wants to talk about Portsmouth or Norfolk, like, what's going on there?
Absolutely.
So I think that's the Lead, Teach, Inspire. I think is really cool, and that's something we love to highlight on the show too. Of Discover Virginia is like, not only is it a great place to live, work, and play, that's kind of our thing, but also too of like, it's a place where there's a lot of great people doing great things. Absolutely. And as we can connect them, it makes for great conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate y'all having us here. That was,
Yeah. If as we wrap up today's show, I'd love to give you guys the red carpet, leave a final message for the audience. But before we do, we have to go through some rapid fire questions.
Okay, that's cool.
All right, you ready for a little lightning round here?
Let's do it.
So we're going to focus on all things Hampton Roads area. So first one is best spot for a date night here in the area.
Cavalier
Hotel.
Cavalier.
That's a classic. I haven't heard that one in a minute. Okay.
I'll say the Raleigh room specifically.
Ooh.
Yeah, he likes the Raleigh room. Yeah.
That is an immaculate place. Yeah.
I like Jimmy G's. Jimmy G's is it's in a weird location. It's right next to the liquor store.
Sponsor is Jimmy G's. We always do.
And it looks very tiny.
What is it called?
Jimmy G's.
Chop House.
It's named after the owner. He's there every day.
Is that near Azalea Gardens? Like by the airport?
No. It's over on this side of the water in Virginia Beach, off Virginia Beach Boulevard, near Sam's Club.
Okay.
It's in a weird location.
I haven't heard Jimmy G's. Oh, shout out to Jimmy G's. Okay.
Yeah, that's a real nice restaurant.
Yeah. And it looks very tiny from the outside, but when you go in, it looks very classic. Everything.
It's almost like walking through a portal. You like, what?
Yeah, you're very confused.
Lamb chops.
Get
the lamb chops.
Yeah, but the food's good. The drinks are good. The service is great. It's a full chop house, a bar in the front, and then a chop house in the back. But everything's very elegantly placed. It's black and white. It's beautiful.
That's
it's
nice.
very clean. I like it.
Oh, that's a great recommendation.
Yeah,
I love
that's a
that one.
good place. Check it out.
For those people who are thinking about moving to the Hampton Roads area, what's one piece of advice you want them to know before they move here?
What'd you say?
One piece of advice is the people can't drive that good. Yeah, the people don't drive that good.
That's a good one.
It's kind of weird. Like that's why I say just be careful. Put your blinkers on and double check.
Please put your blinkers on. That's what they're there for. Yeah.
What advice would I give? When you're picking a house, make sure the location, like actually look at the location and look at the schools. All very good schools, but the schools are very, like the way they're placed, it'd be like a good school next to a bad school in the same neighborhood. Just kind of check that out.
That's a good piece of advice, yeah.
From a mom's perspective.
Check the areas, check the schools. Yeah, that's important, yeah, because our kids have different needs, right? So being mindful of their needs as well. Especially when they're, public education, they're spending a lot of time there. Yeah. When it comes to fun outings that you guys like to do, so when you're not out podcasting or building a business or parenting, what do you guys like to do for fun?
There's a lot of events. I think that a lot of people don't go to, like almost weekly events, festivals, the wine festivals, all that stuff. Just check it out. You never know what good food you might run into, what good drinks they might have, good people you might meet. Yeah. Just go.
I'm not fun. So that's the truth with me. Like,
wait, who's not fun? Jerome or Rome? Is Rome fun?
Jerome and Rome go hand in hand.
Okay.
Like,
on the fun factor.
Yeah, Rome activates. Like Rome is the, But Jerome, he's like, man, I'd rather be at home.
He's a whole body.
I'll stay at home. Like, hey, y'all, people come to the house.
Oh, I got one for you. I'm more of a homebody myself from time to time. What's your favorite? What show are you watching right now?
Right now, I'm watching Smallville.
Smallville, classic.
Yeah.
Okay.
On season 2, episode 3, to be exact.
Have you seen it before? And
Never seen it before. But I just finished the other one, Superman and Lois. I'm a big superhero fan because I feel like that's just me in real life. I'm actually a superhero. So I love superhero shows. Yeah. So I binge watched Superman and Lois. Now I'm watching Smallville. First time, but having a good time watching. So I could stay home all day and do that until she want to get out and just go date night. Then I'll throw on a nice little suit. We go out for a drink or two. And then I'll go back home and watch Smallville.
Balance.
I love that. Last rapid fire question for you. This one's a doozy sometimes, but what is your favorite beach to visit in Virginia Beach?
Well, I'm not a beach guy.
Yeah, I'm not a beach person.
But it would be but it would be the oceanfront right here. Like family come down all the time from New Jersey and they want to go to Virginia Beach, they want to go to the beach. So we usually come right down to the oceanfront. I'm familiar with it. I used to work on as the bike cop running back for the little shorts and whatnot. So I know the area well, and I'll take them down here to the to the oceanfront and
drop them off and go home and watch.
Pretty much. We do an hour, then I make up an excuse like, "Hey, the water's getting dark or something."
The bacteria levels.
Yeah. They said the sharks are coming close, and then we leave.
I think the locals do Sandbridge, right? They try to stay away from the oceanfront because of all the tourists.
Yeah, I know the locals do not care for the oceanfront. Yeah. Or us talking about the other beaches there are. So that's also
they don't want people to know the secret, beaches.
Sandbridge,
There's the one on Norfolk too.
East Beach.
Yes.
Yeah, there's
East Beach is a nice area. They're starting to build that up.
Oh yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, they started that in the early 2000s. They started building that up. Because it was different time in the 90s for Hampton Roads. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. There's nothing left to do but to roll out the red carpet.
Thank you.
This camera here, Kassani, we'll start with you. Final message for the audience and where they can go to learn more about you and all the things you have going on in your life.
Thank you. Final message: stay true to yourself. Be authentic. Know that no one's perfect. So even though they seem perfect on the outside, everyone has real struggles, and there are resources, whether it be a podcast or a therapist. Either way, whatever helps you manage that circumstance. But you can follow us on YouTube right now for our podcast under Rome the Rula. I'll let you spell that out. But it's two separate podcasts. The cultural development one, which is Jerome's specific podcast, and then a subset called Family Business, where it's me and Jerome talking about real life relationship type things. So and then Instagram as well, you can follow me at Kassani, Kassani, I believe, and I'll pass it on to you.
Hey, all right. So my final message is everybody needs a mentor, right? Men, women, young men, young women, you need mentors. So follow us in our journey. Allow us to mentorship and fellowship with you all. You can follow me at Instagram at Rome the Rula. That's Rome the Rula is RULA. Somebody stole ruler, so we're going to go with Rula. And I sound like that anyway. And you can follow me on YouTube at Rome the Rula. Same spelling. And again, be a part of this journey. It's going to be a lot more to come. We got a book coming out soon called Love and Track, Not Running Away. We're going to have a lot of merchandise coming, T-shirts with cultural development, family business, lead, teach, inspire. Stay with us. Stay tuned. If not, you're going to miss out.
A lot of great things going on. So yeah, Discover Virginia community, go out, Discover Virginia, and check out these wonderful resources and enjoy your time here. And we'll see you all in another episode very soon.